So this is part 2 of lesson 2 of the Web Design Development Laboratory. Next in our agenda is iframe. Okay, so requirement of your first exercise. Iframe is used to display a page within the page. Example, if you want to embed your a YouTube or say Google Map in your website, you may do that through iframe. Okay, let's have an example. Let's say, so I'll open my YouTube. Okay, YouTube. Kung may mga adware pala to. Mga something na naka-open. I think safe naman. Oh, Fatima. Okay. So let's say this YouTube video. We want to teka lang skip ad. So we want this to be embedded in our web page. So what we do is we click, is it share? Yes, share. And then this one embed. If you notice, it's iframe. So we just copy and paste that. Copy, Control C, and then go to our page, and then paste it here. Okay. There. Control X ko to, paste ko doon. So that's the iframe. Okay. Control S. So there are website or services that has that kind of a facility. Yung iframe. Go back here, and then F5 to refresh. And there I've embedded this YouTube. You may also embed Google Map. Okay. So let's say we go to Google Map. Google Map. By the way, it's working Saan siya? 0. Play. Ayun na, magpi-play na siya doon to your page. Okay? So, also we can also embed mga nasa Google Map. Okay, example, let's say Mapua, Makati. Here. So, if we want to embed this map in our page, is we go to, I think, share also. Share, and then this one, embed. And then there's that iframe. You copy that, and then go to your Notepad++, and then paste it. Say, for example, you like to identify location. There. Control C, Control V, Control S, and then go back, and then F5. And there I have my map, right? Location, and then a Google Map. Okay, so that's the iframe. I'm done with all the required markups or HTML elements you are to explore for the first exercise. I have added this the lecture about design principles. First is, when we create website, is there are external factors that affects our website. Okay. You know what, in web design development, you need to be observant, especially with websites. Okay, what's happening? If you notice, let's say, example, even for Mapua, when you browse Mapua to your desktop, to the laptop, to your phone, they differ, right? Well, because there are tags or markups that works best, say, in desktop or in a mobile phone, so on and so forth. Okay. There. So another factor, there are many factors that affects our page. Example, with connection speed, right? If let's say, if we are to, example, that one, my example, you have attached a video, it will eat too much of the bandwidth, or worse, it will not be displayed on the page. Okay. Another, screen resolution. Yun nga, again, we have different, nowadays users has different platforms when they browse as a given site. Okay. Well, because there's new devices, and most of these are portable, accessible. Again, things to take note when we design standards. When we design websites, we need to conform to standards. As I go along, if you notice, I been discussing some of the standards. And I mentioned this before, that best is to test your work on different major browsers. Also recommended if you can test it on different operating system and different devices. Okay. Okay, again, it is expected, example, you use a code and it only works in Chrome but not on the other browser. Better you and you remedy that. Okay. Um, except if it is not it doesn't affect the functionality, or um, example, let's say it's only alignment. Example, alignment, they differ in the Chrome to the IE. I think you can ignore that. Okay, but let's say the difference is there's a content that appears when you use Chrome, but in IE it doesn't appear. You have to work on that. Okay, because we know that contents are very important. It's the main agenda why you're creating the website. Okay. Um, there. Also test your work with older browsers, okay? Not just the new ones, because we again our focus is on the user, not on you. You have to identify, profile your target users. So if your users are using older browsers, you have to test your website with these older browsers. Okay? It's you, the developer, who will adjust and not the user. Again, there are standards designed by the W3C. As we go along, we are discussing these different standards designed by the W3C, World Wide Web Consortium. I've discussed this before. I mentioned this already, that you need to identify your target users. Okay, identify the OS they're using, the their connection speed, um, the browsers that they're using. There's two types of layout. There's fixed and then there's the flexible. Nowadays, the design is on the flexible layout. There's a framework already developed to ensure that when you are to create website, it will be flexible. What we mean by flexible is your website adjusts to the display size. So it is much presentable. The website is presentable even if you are to use other platforms, especially yung mga mobile devices. Okay, that framework is Bootstrap. We'll have a discussion on Bootstrap and also an exercise related to Bootstrap. You also have a project in this course, and requirement is that it should use Bootstrap, and it means it should be flexible. Okay. So I have a simple example here. Like in here, there's a part where it's fixed, meaning the size of the content is same regardless of the device, but there is a part where it is flexible. It adjusts according to the size of the device or of the browser. Sorry, not the browser but the device, size of the device. Another example. And then again, there's the fixed. Again, with the fixed is it doesn't adjust to the display size. Okay. Like example, let's say you've created this website using a laptop, and then you display it on a desktop, which has a much wider screen. So what happens? There will be blank spaces here. Okay. Diba from small, you display it on a much larger resolution. So you expect there will be blank spaces. With flexible, it adjusts. So when you display it to a much larger screen resolution, then the sizes of the font will become larger, images will be larger, so on and so forth. With the flexible, again, we are to explore Bootstrap framework, so you will be well versed with flexible layout. So in here, there's details about flexible and fixed, comparing the two. But then again, nowadays, there's no need actually to compare na, because like nowadays, we are actually forced to create our websites in a flexible format, flexible layout. Well, because nga most of the users are using different devices. Okay. So these are the only things I can share for this second part. Okay, there's actually other details here below, but my plan is to discuss remaining topics here during our Zoom session. So at least in our Zoom session, we still have some couple of discussions and interactive discussions. So I want the other parts of this lesson, those from here, from slide 36 up to the end, is I want it to be interactive. So we will have discussions on that during our Zoom session. So this ends my discussion in lesson 2. Um, this ends my recorded discussions in lesson 2. Then again, we'll continue this during our Zoom session. So thank you. Keep safe. Together, we'll learn as one.